What is up, you guys? This is All Day Any Day 1 on the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you a beginner's guide video for Defiance 2050 or 2050. So we're going to go ahead and start off with creating a character and how that pretty much works out. So after this loading screen, I'm just going to show you everything about the character customizations and the classes you can pick. So there are going to be 4 classes you can choose, and there's also going to be 3 different races you can choose as well. Your races don't really matter too much at all. They're just, for cosmetic purposes. And you can choose to be a female or a male. So you can be a human male, human female, a Rathianate male, and female, or a Castithan male or Castithan female. Sorry if I'm completely butchering these names. And then you have the 4 classes. These are 4 out of the 5. You have Assault, Assassin, Guardian, Combat Medic, and then the 5th one would be the Demolitionist. So unfortunately, you can't choose the Demolitionist as one of the classes. You have to earn that class in-game, or you can purchase it. So the thing is with choosing your class is you are going to be stuck with using one class until you have enough to earn another class. You can unlock your classes with pursuits. Well, you do your pursuits, and then you'd be able to purchase more classes, so on and so on. Or you can just buy them with real money. And then archetype is just your facial structure. For right now, I'll just go ahead and choose an assassin. So assassins are going to be based off of being in stealth. They have they're built around stealth and crits pretty much. And then assault is based off of being able to move around and do damage, as well as being mid to close range, as it says here. Guardian is more of your tanky type of character. They will be able to taunt enemies and put up a giant shield, kind of like the Titan in Destiny 2, how he or she has a giant shield that pops up in front of them, not a bubble shield. And then you have your Combat Medic, which basically summons a drone, and that drone can buff and heal you and your allies, both your shield and your health. And then not only that, but you also do get buffs from yourself as well. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the assassin, and now you can choose the skin or the pigment of your skin color. So you can choose to be very dark or light or whatever. Choose your voices as well. And the voices are pretty whatever. And then you have your facial structures or your eyes. When you press R1, you can choose the different eye colors and whatnot. And hair, you can choose different hairstyles. So the character customization, there isn't that much like in depth as other RPG games would, but it's not too bad, but it's not like at all great. And then tattoos are just facial tattoos. Blemishes, you have scars and like fragments from grenades, whatever, explosives, freckles. You have face paints, war paints, etc. And then you have makeup. So that's pretty much it with the character customization. I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next part. Alright, so for the next thing, obviously you can't see my character's face, unfortunately. But the next thing we're going to be talking about is your goals, your pursuits. So previously on the previous Defiance game, pursuits were very, very, very important to your character in general, because that was what determined whether you would level up or not. Because your pursuits, the more amount of pursuits you've completed, the higher your ego level would be. On here, it's very different. Pursuits don't work that way anymore. But pursuits are still very, very, very important to do, and you have to make sure you do them. And the reason why you want to make sure you want to do your pursuits is because they'll give you currency that you can use to go ahead and purchase your other classes and other just pretty much anything else. There are different features as well, such as when you go into the zones, you're going to get these things called prototype weapons, and they're going to be yellow weapons. They're going to be very, very, very strong. And the thing about prototype weapons is you can upgrade them every time. Anytime you level up, it'll level up with you, but you have to pay with 50 Karelian Cores, or whatever they're called. They're these blue orb icons in your currency tab. You have to pay 50 of those in order to 50 of those, and I believe a certain amount of script in order to rank these prototype weapons up. So you do want to make sure you at least, I would highly, highly, highly recommend doing the zones, so that way you have these weapons, because they are actually very useful, and they just help a lot. And then with all these other pursuits, you can get titles and you can get costumes as well. But if you can take a look at the icon, it's an arc symbol. It's the one with the ring around, and it's under the mutant sign or title. It's not a title, but it's an intel. It says +5 or whatever. Those are basically the currencies you'll be getting, and you want to try to pretty much get as many of those as possible, so that way you can unlock other classes. That's if you haven't already purchased all the other classes. If you've already purchased the classes, you can still use that currency to purchase pretty much anything else. You get like vehicles, or I believe like mod caches for weapons, specific weapon types. You can buy epic mods and grenade mods and just a bunch of other stuff. And then for things like factions, the faction for pursuits aren't the same way they were before. So with factions, you were able to purchase the costumes. Now you have to do the pursuits in order to earn these costumes, which isn't too bad. But right now factions aren't working at the moment. Hopefully it will pretty soon. But that's pretty much it for this one for pursuits. So pursuits basically doesn't level you up, but it does give you some other bonuses. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be talking about is your power level. So your power level is that yellow number on the top left screen. It's right next to your shield, the yellow shield. It's the one that says 1023. The power level is basically like your item level, and the way it works is it goes based off of your primary, your secondary, your grenade, and your shield. All of that gets rounded up, and then that's what your power level will be. Now your power level will change depending on your loadout, on your different loadouts you have. For example, this one's at 1023, and this one will be at 1025 whenever that decides to load up. Sometimes it won't, sometimes it will. Yeah, so it bugged out for a second, and it just changed to 1025. But the way, like I said, the way it works is it rounds all this up, and then you get your power level. Power level is going to be very important because certain enemies will have a certain amount of power level as well, and you obviously want to be able to fight against them and be able to kill them. But they also are kind of balanced towards your power level. So if you're playing early on, the enemies will be at a lower power level or about the same power level. But the further, like the deeper down in the maps you go, like the further south you go, the higher power level they'll be. Generally, the higher power level they'll be, the harder the enemies will be. But most of the time, you'll be scaled around the same, or the enemies will be scaled around the same power level you are. But that's pretty much it with power level. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next part. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about enhancing your weapons. So enhancing your weapons is going to be very important as well. That's what determines what your power level is going to be, pretty much, because that's what's going to help you level up your power rank, your power level. So when you go into your weapons, you're gonna want to press X or A or whatever on PC or whatever else you're playing on. You're gonna press it on the weapon you're using, and it doesn't even have to be the weapon you're using. It's just any weapon. And then as you can see, it says I have to press triangle if I want to enhance my weapon. So I'll go ahead and press triangle, and then you have all these different options. So some weapons will only be like 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 15 or out of 20 or 25. It all depends on how many stars you have on the weapon. So this one, I believe, has 7 out of 10 stars. So generally the higher tier the weapon is, the more stars it'll have, but that's not gonna happen all the time, because sometimes you'll have a green that has 3 stars and a blue that has 3 stars. But yeah, so the higher amount of stars you have on the weapon, the higher it can get ranked up. So all you do is you press triangle again. When it says enhance weapon, you'll press triangle, and then you'll have all these enhancement materials. So the enhancement materials, you can use pretty much any material you want on these, on the weapons or any weapon, but it only increase it up by 1. As you can see, it says EP1. This one says EP10 because it's a green salvage weapon or a salvage. If it was a blue, it'd probably go up to 15. If it was a, purple, it'd probably be 20, and then 25, and so on and so on. Probably more than that. But yeah, so what you would want to do though is you would want to use your specific weapon type material. So for example, if I had an assault rifle salvage, then I would use that on this, so that way it gets more points towards its salvage or to its enhancement. And then the more you enhance it, the higher you rank your weapon up, the better it'll be. And then once you do that, you'll get rank points or enhancement points or modifying points, whatever you want to call it. You'd press square, and then it says spend bonus ranks, reset bonus ranks, or you can re-roll the stats on your modified bonuses. So you would have points that you can spend. You'd go to spend bonus ranks, and then you can spend it on any of the 3 here. And then resetting it is going to be for free. You don't have to spend anything to reset. I'm not going to reset it because I just don't feel like it. And then reroll, you have to pay in order to reroll. It's not a lot, but I mean, I wouldn't really waste the Karelian Cores unless it's a really good weapon you want to use it on. Like if it's one of the prototypes and you don't have a roll that you really like, then I guess that would be a good reason to use it. And then there's also mods, weapon mods you can also add on. You can't add it on your prototype weapons, but you can add it on other weapons. So I'm going to go to my sniper. It says modify weapons, press X. Now you can unlock mod slots, but it will cost a Karelian Core as well. And then if you want to add mods, you can add the mod, but it would also cost you a Karelian Core. So Karelian Cores are going to be very useful, and I'll talk about where to get that next. So Karelian Cores are going to be very useful for a lot of different things. For example, like you just saw, it would be really useful for your mods, but it's also going to be very useful for prototype replicators. So with the prototype replicators, so far it seems like I think it's only for your prototype weapons, so hence prototype replicator. The way it works though is you would only use it if you really need to level your weapon up. So the higher level you go, obviously your weapon is going to reach a certain point where it's not going to be as good. That's when you're going to want to end up using the prototype replicator, and you're going to end up increasing its level up to where you are, and then it'll be a lot stronger than the weapons that you're pretty much getting. So it's going to cost you 50 Karelian Cores, and obviously I only have 36, but I'm not going to be doing this. I'm not going to be enhancing it or using the replicator until I'm probably about level 40 or so. So where do you get the Karelian Cores? You go ahead and you go to your map, and then you can, well, I'd have to abandon this mission really quick. So you can get these Karelian Cores from pretty much any side mission you do. As you can see, the currency is that blue orb. You can get it from any of these side missions. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, so you can't get it from the main mission, but you can get it from the side mission, and there are several side missions. Now I would still be careful with the Karelian Cores because you are limited on them. You can't always get them. Now you can purchase them with the pursuit points that I was talking about. You can purchase about 5 of them at a time, or you can purchase them in the in-game market. But other than that, this is the only other way that I know of that you can earn them. But that's pretty much it for the Karelian Cores. We're going to go ahead and talk about the next thing. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be talking about is your character and the class tree. So with the character level, the character's max level is 50 ego. But your class tree, your class level maxes up to level 25. And you can only put up to 25 points. And the way it works is, so I'll go ahead and show you with the combat medic. You can put 3 points into the first tree, and then the second tree caps out at 5. So you can put like 1, and then 3, or you can mix it up however you want to with the three perks in the second tree, but it only caps out to 5 points. And the next one is basically another ability, but you can only have one of them. You can't have both of them. And then you would end up maxing that one out. Same thing with this one, with the fourth slot or fourth row. It's basically the same thing as the second and the last one, or the next one. You can put any points anywhere, and then the last tree, basically, is the same thing. You can only choose one of the two. Now, when you do level up to 25, you won't get any more XP for your class anymore. It'll all just go to your character level. But that's why you would end up purchasing another class with all those pursuit points and whatnot. And for example, I purchased the Guardian. You would restart though from level 1 on your class, but your character is still the same level. So as you can see on the bottom left corner, it says my ego level is 26. That's my character's level. So I'm still level 26, but my Guardian is a level 2. So that means I'd have to rank up all the way back up to 25 for my Guardian if I want to max it out. And then by then I'll have another class unlocked, and I'll be able to I have to do the same. Now, once I do max this class out, and let's say I do hit level 50 before I get the Assassin or Assault or Demolitionist, you will still be able to level those classes up even though you're not getting any XP for your character. You'll be getting XP for your class. So you'll end up maxing out all 5 classes, and by the time you max out all 5 of your classes, you will have your character level 50 pretty much maxed out. And that's pretty much it for how the character and the classes work. So one of the best and probably the most simplest way to level up is obviously you would want to do your main story. I wouldn't worry about doing the minor arc falls, major arc falls, or any of the open world events really. I would honestly just stick with doing side missions and your main mission. Also, obviously you would want to do your pursuit so you can get the better weapons and all that, and the other classes unlocked and costumes and stuff. But if you want to just level up as fast as possible, then you're going to just want to stick with doing the main mission. The main mission is the large exclamation point with the big round box around it. And then the side missions are these ones. And then you will have activities around as well, but they're not going to be shown on your map. They'll be shown like while you're driving around, while you're roaming the map. And then minor arc falls, these are minor arc falls. It's the smaller ones. They are pretty good for XP, but they're not great. And then you have your major arc falls, which are these ones, the bigger ones that are bigger events, and you'll see like maybe up to 100 players in it doing this one. And they do give a good amount of XP, they do give good rewards, but it's not going to be enough compared to your main missions and your side missions. You also do have your co-ops as well, your co-op missions, but the only way you can unlock specific co-op missions is completing those specific missions in the story. So for example, when I go to matchmaking and I go to Liberate the Lost, you have to complete Liberate the Lost quest before you can unlock this. So I don't have Explosions 101 completed. I don't have the mission Paying the Piper completed. so I wouldn't be able to do that, or a bullet for a bad man, or seize the day, control the future, and mission into the heart of the darkness. I don't have any of those completed, so I wouldn't be able to do that. So that's why it's also going to be very important that you do your main quests so you can unlock all these other your other co-op missions. Alright, so now we're going to be talking about the in-game Defiance Store. So the Defiance Store is basically a place where you can purchase items with real money, and you would purchase these things called bits, and bits are they're not too expensive, but they're not cheap. So for $5 you can get 500 bits, for $20 you can get 2300, and then $50 you get 6250. And then you can buy key codes, you can buy loadouts, you can buy inventory slots. Those are probably the ones that I would say are probably the most important ones. At least back then they were some of the most important ones. And then you can also purchase these, like, I guess, lock boxes or loot boxes. It is based off RNG depending on what you're trying to look for. If you're not looking for anything specific, then these will give you a good amount of, like if you're looking for salvage pieces, then these will give you good salvage pieces. So like the purple one would give you purple salvage pieces, which would be a high amount of, I guess, salvage or enhancement levels. And then you have your weapon mods. You can get the purple ones or the blue ones. You can get currencies, so you can buy arc keys, which arc keys are going to be used to open arc chests. And you have arc chests in the co-op mission. So any co-op missions you do are going to have an arc chest at the end of the mission. And you would open them, and then you can get blues, purples, or legendaries from them. And then you have your Karelian Cores. You can buy 5 or 10 or 25 of them. And then storage, like I said, inventory and arc key codes. And then you can also go ahead and purchase XP boosts, reputation boosts, skill ego boosts, and script boosts. So these boosts actually do help a lot depending on what you're looking for. The boosts that I would highly recommend going for would be like the XP ego boost, the skill ego boost. Those are probably the only two I would ever actually go for. The clan one, so I just found this out right now, is when you toggle over it and you use your right stick. On the white one, that's for yourself. The blue one is for your clan. So if you're generous to your clan, you can go ahead and give everyone a 10% XP boost, or you can give everyone a 10% skill ego boost. Right now, skill ego wouldn't be worth it, but when the weapon mastery is better, I believe someone was saying you have to be level 50 in order to get the weapon skills, weapon mastery to level up. They were saying you have to be level 50, so I'm not exactly sure yet since I'm on level 26. But yeah, so I think you have to be level 50, but when you are level 50, then this would be worth using. And then you can also purchase outfits as well, a bunch of really nice outfits, headgear, vehicles. Also, you don't have to rely on purchasing a vehicle. You can earn your vehicles in the actual game. You do not have to purchase these vehicles. Now, if you want to purchase them, that's on you. But you don't have to. You can earn vehicles in the game from doing your pursuits, or you can purchase them with scripts or your pursuit points. And then you have service, which lets you change your clan name, your actual character's name. You can fully recustomize your character, or you can add an extra loadout slot. And the last one is your valor. So valor is not going to be purchasable with bits. You have to have these things like valor points, which is only from for players who played previously on Defiance, the previous Defiance. And it was based off of how high, I believe it was based off of how high or how far you got into the game, pretty much. So there's a bunch of really neat costumes. For example, Master of War, that's the one I've always had my eye on, is Master of War. Valiant Falcon is a really nice bike as well. And then you can also buy titles. And then I'm pretty sure that's it though. You can buy loadout slots and inventory slots, but that would be a waste of valor in my opinion, where you just use bits. But yeah, that's pretty much it with the Defiance Store. Also, you can claim items here. And if you have codes, you can use it here. Alright, so now we're also going to be talking about clans and why clans are pretty important, or not necessarily just important, but also really nice to have. So when you go to your clan, you're going to go to social, and then you're going to go to the two arrows looking at each other. So when you're making a clan, when you're first making a clan, you have to be level 25 to make it, and you have to have 5,000 script. So it's not going to cost a lot, it's not going to be hard to get. But the way the clans work is you get contributions, and your contributions will level up your clan. And the way you level up your clan, the way you earn your contributions, is you have to do all these clan activities, as you can see on the right side. This clan here, that is a clan that I just recently made. We only have 3 people, so obviously we won't have all these clan activities completed right now. But you would want to rank up all these clan activities so that way you can get your global bonuses. And the global bonuses, let me see, I believe, yeah. So you can get ammo, so loot 10% more ammo, the vehicle speed up, 10% bonus to your vehicle speed, and then reputation increase, 5% bonus to your reputation. So the only thing that really matters to me the most is the reputation, but that means you'd have to have your rank, your clan up to 3,000 in their rating. So you can see right under the ammo, it says rating, and then it says 0 for us. That's because we don't have any rating, but you need to get up to 3,000 in order to get that reputation increase. So that's going to be a very huge push, I guess. I don't even know what I'm saying for that, but yeah, it's going to be very important to get that, because reputation is going to be for your factions, and that's going to be super nice, leveling up your factions with that. I mean, yeah, 5% doesn't seem like a lot, but 5% is more than 0%. So, and then also, it's nice to have a clan, so that way you can find people to play with if you don't have anyone to play with. Or you can also, I believe, yeah, that's pretty much it actually. You can play with other players. And then also, as a clan leader, the really nice thing about this is you can see how long someone has been offline for, making it easier for you to kick inactive players. So if someone's been inactive for, let's say, 5 months, and they haven't told you why or anything, then you can go ahead and kick that person out. I'm not saying you should, or it's your opinion, but you know, it's nice to be able to see how long someone's been on or off. So the last thing I'm going to be talking about is your factions. So I know factions aren't working at the moment, but as soon as they are working, this is going to help you out. And for those of you that already know how the faction works, I'm just going to let you know that all of them are still the same. Each factions have their own vendors. For example, Top Notch Toolworks vendor, I'm at it right now, and I'm going to show you what they have. But the way that factions work is you would pick up your faction quests. Generally, you would talk to someone, or you would pick it up from somewhere. But you would just get your faction quests, and then you would go and do them, your challenges, and then you would get a certain amount of currency for your faction. So I'm going to go ahead and go into this Top Notch. So as you can see, the currency is just the letter T. It's the Top Notch symbol. So you have to have a certain amount. You have to have 120 of them if you want to purchase one of the weapons. And you also need 12,000 script as well if you also want to purchase the weapon. So 12,000 script and 120 of that specific faction currency. And each faction has their own, you know, not necessarily special weapons. Some of the weapons are pretty bad, but some of them are actually really good. For example, big boomers are really good, and a very annoying grenade launcher, especially if you use it in PvP. It is very annoying, but it can also be countered, and especially if other players use a big boomer, it's basically whoever triggers it first. But like I said, these are all very different from other factions. So, like the Thorn Nero faction, I don't think it's gonna have swords because I believe swords were taken out of the game as a weapon, other than for the assassin. But they would have other weapons in there, like maybe a sniper and shotgun or something. But yeah, you would just go and do your faction quests or faction challenges. Yeah, I believe it's like 5 of them a day. And the thing is, you can also do multiple factions all at once. You don't have to just stick to one faction. You can do multiple factions and get all of theirs done. So that way you're able to build up currency for all of the factions every day. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. And that's pretty much it for this guide as well. Hopefully this helped you guys out all. And if it did, let me know. Leave a comment. Let me know down in the comment section. Leave a sub. Hit that sub button. Hit that like and whatnot. And if you have any questions or concerns, let me know down in the comment section as well. If you also are on PS4 and in the North American servers and would like to join Critical Error Clan, let me know, or let Gaming with A, let him know, and then we can invite you guys. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like, comment, subscribe. This is All Day Any Day 1 on the PS4. Have a good day, good night, and peace.